Many seniors believe that increasing their daily steps is the key to staying healthy after the age of 70. However, what if I told you that leading doctors are now cautioning against relying solely on walking? While it certainly helps maintain mobility, depending on it as your primary form of exercise could actually accelerate aging instead of slowing it down. The reality is that as we grow older, our bodies require more than just walking to preserve strength, balance, and joint health. Focusing exclusively on walking while neglecting 5 other crucial types of movement can lead to muscle decline, a higher risk of falls, and joint damage, the very issues you're trying to avoid. In this video, I will highlight the 5 essential areas you should prioritize rather than relying solely on walking. Implementing these simple changes can not only add years to your life, but also significantly enhance your independence. Make sure to stay with me until the end. The final recommendation is something rarely discussed but absolutely essential for long-term health. If you're watching, be sure to like, subscribe, and share your city in the comments. Now, let's begin with the most urgent factor that is quietly undermining your strength every single day. Strength training, the critical element. Walking doesn't provide walking, is excellent for cardiovascular health and mental well-being. But here's what many seniors fail to realize. It does little to combat muscle loss after 70. Naturally, the body loses between 3 to 5% of its muscle mass each decade, a condition known as sarcopenia. But this isn't just about maintaining a strong appearance. It's about sustaining independence. In my conversations with older adults who can no longer live on their own, their primary issue isn't usually heart or lung failure. It's muscle weakness. The ability to stand up from a chair, carry groceries, or climb stairs plays a much greater role in remaining self-sufficient than simply walking does. Consider your daily routine. Have you noticed that carrying grocery bags feels heavier than before? Do you find yourself using your hands to push off from a chair? Has opening jars become a task that now requires assistance? These aren't minor inconveniences. They are warning signs that your muscles are weakening, even if you walk every day. Take Richard from Boston, for example. At 75, he maintained a routine of walking 2 miles daily, convinced that he was taking the right steps for his health. But over time, he found himself struggling to lift his suitcase into an overhead compartment when visiting his grandchildren. Standing up from his favorite chair became a challenge. One morning, he realized he could no longer open his medication bottle without assistance. Despite his regular walking routine, his muscles were gradually deteriorating. Richard's doctor explained a key fact. While walking primarily benefits the heart and lungs, it does very little to maintain the strength of the arms, shoulders, chest, and core. These muscles require resistance, some form of pushing or pulling, to remain strong. The encouraging news is that you don't need a gym membership or expensive equipment to rebuild lost muscle. Simple strength training exercises using resistance bands, bodyweight movements like wall push-ups, or lifting everyday household items such as soup cans or water bottles can produce noticeable improvements within weeks. The benefits of strength training extend far beyond making daily tasks easier. Research has shown that maintaining muscle mass is directly linked to increased longevity, improved brain function, and a stronger immune system. In fact, muscles generate specific compounds that protect the brain and reduce inflammation throughout the body. An often overlooked advantage of muscle strength is its impact on medication effectiveness. The body processes prescriptions more efficiently when adequate muscle mass is maintained, meaning that with consistent strength training, some individuals may require lower doses with fewer side effects. Want to assess your current strength level? Try this simple test. Sit in a chair and stand up without using your hands. Then sit back down and repeat the movement. If you can do this 5 to 10 times with ease, your strength is in good shape. If you find it difficult or impossible, your leg muscles require immediate attention. I would love to hear from you. Which everyday task has become more challenging lately? Is it carrying groceries, standing up from a chair, or something else? Share your experience in the comments and let's explore how we can tackle these challenges together. Now, let's move on to another essential element that walking alone cannot provide, something that could, in a critical moment, save your life. 2. Balance training. What walking can't teach your body. You might think that because you can walk a mile without falling, your balance is just fine. But here's something that might surprise you. Walking on flat, predictable surfaces actually does very little to maintain the complex balance systems your body relies on. It's like having a smoke detector that's never tested. You won't know it's failing until there's an emergency. Falls aren't just accidents. They're the #1 cause of injury among adults over 70, sending more seniors to hospitals than any other single event. What's truly heartbreaking is that many people never fully recover their independence after a serious fall. The CDC reports that 1 in 4 Americans aged 65 and older falls each year, but fewer than half tell their doctor. Why? Because admitting balance problems feels like admitting you're getting old. The truth is, balance decline sneaks up on you. Your brain and body have amazing compensation systems that hide small balance issues, until suddenly, one day, you reach for something on a shelf and feel that terrifying moment of instability. By then, you've already lost significant balance capability. Margaret from Minneapolis learned this at 73. She'd walked 2 miles daily for years and considered herself very fit. One winter morning, stepping off a curb, her foot slipped slightly. She didn't fall. She caught herself just in time, but that moment of terror stayed with her. I realized I was one bad step away from a broken hip, she told me. Her doctor explained that her balance systems had weakened despite all that walking. Yeah, what happened to Margaret? Walking primarily challenges forward movement in predictable environments. It doesn't train the vestibular system in your inner ear, the proprioceptors in your joints, or the quick response muscles that prevent falls when something unexpected happens. These systems need specific challenges to stay sharp. The great news is that balance can improve at any age with the right exercises, and they're surprisingly simple. Standing on one foot while brushing your teeth, walking heel to toe as if on a tightrope, or gently shifting your weight from side to side while standing can make a big difference. These movements create mild instability that teaches your body to respond more quickly when genuinely unstable situations occur. What many don't realize is that balance training does more than prevent falls. It actually improves brain function. Your cerebellum, which coordinates movement, shares neural connections with parts of your brain responsible for memory and cognition. Research shows that improving balance can enhance overall brain performance, a remarkable 2-for-1 benefit. Want to check your current balance? Try this. Stand near a counter for safety. Lift 1 foot an inch off the ground and see if you can hold steady for 10 seconds without touching anything for support. If this is difficult, your balance needs immediate attention. I'm curious, when was the last time you felt unsteady or had to grab something to prevent a fall? Was it reaching for something, getting out of the shower, or another situation? Share in the comments. Your experience might help someone else recognize their own balance issues before a fall happens. Now, let's move to our third priority that walking simply can't provide, something that determines how comfortably you'll move through each day. Flexibility and mobility, preserving a youthful body. When thinking about staying active, walking is often the first activity that comes to mind. However, one essential aspect of movement that walking alone does not address is maintaining flexibility and mobility. As we age, our joints naturally become stiffer and our muscles lose elasticity, leading to discomfort and restricted movement. This is why walking by itself isn't enough to keep you feeling agile and youthful. Picture yourself trying to turn your head while driving, only to realize that your neck feels stiff and uncooperative, or reaching for a box on a high shelf and finding the motion more difficult than it used to be. These seemingly small limitations are actually early warning signs of declining flexibility, which can greatly impact independence by turning simple daily activities into unnecessary struggles. Consider the experience of Thomas, a 78-year-old who prided himself on walking every day. He believed he was doing everything right for his health, until he noticed subtle but troubling changes. Getting out of bed in the morning became a challenge, bending down to tie his shoes felt increasingly difficult, and turning his head to check for traffic was no longer effortless. Despite his commitment to walking, he found himself dealing with persistent stiffness. It was only then that he realized an important truth: walking alone does not prevent joint tightness or improve flexibility. Why does this matter? When your body lacks flexibility, stiffness sets in, leading to discomfort and limiting your ability to move freely. Over time, this restriction can cause pain and make daily tasks feel more demanding. The good news is that improving flexibility is simple and requires no specialized equipment. A few minutes of targeted mobility exercises each day can make a dramatic difference. A great place to start is with neck rotations. Slowly turn your head from side to side, feeling the gentle stretch in your neck. Shoulder circles are another excellent way to increase mobility. Rolling your shoulders forward and backward can help release built-up tension. Incorporating gentle yoga movements, such as cat-cow stretches or seated forward bends, can also work wonders for keeping your joints lubricated and reducing stiffness. Scientific research confirms that improving flexibility not only reduces pain but also enhances circulation, allowing blood to flow more efficiently throughout the body. This boost in circulation helps ease stiffness, increase energy levels, and promote overall well-being. Want to assess your current flexibility? Try this simple test. Sit comfortably and turn your head as far as you can to one side, then the other. How does it feel? Do you notice any tightness or restriction? If so, that's a clear indication that your flexibility needs attention. I'd love to hear about your experience. Which movements have become more challenging for you lately? Do you find it harder to bend down, reach overhead, or twist to grab something from a shelf? Sharing your experiences can help us all understand how to tackle these changes effectively. Now that we've explored the critical role of flexibility, let's move on to another key factor that contributes to overall stability and comfort as you age, something walking alone cannot fully provide. Core and posture. The invisible foundation. Walking can't build you might be surprised to learn that walking, for all its benefits, does almost nothing to strengthen your core muscles or improve your posture. Yet, these deep, stabilizing muscles are like the foundation of your house. When they weaken, everything else starts to shift and crack. After 70, poor posture isn't just about appearance. It fundamentally changes how your body functions. Look at any group of seniors and you'll notice something. Many are gradually leaning forward with rounded shoulders and a curved upper back. This isn't inevitable with age. It's the result of weakened core muscles failing to hold your spine in proper alignment. Walking simply doesn't activate these critical stabilizing muscles the way targeted exercises do. The consequences go far beyond just looking older. Poor posture creates a cascade of problems: chronic back pain, restricted breathing, digestive issues, and an increased risk of falls. Many seniors find themselves unable to stand comfortably for even short periods at family gatherings or while waiting in line. The discomfort can be so persistent that it limits social activities and enjoyment of life. Barbara from Phoenix experienced this at 76. She had walked religiously for decades, 3 miles every morning, yet found herself battling constant upper back pain and restricted breathing. Looking at photos from her granddaughter's graduation, she hardly recognized herself. "When did I start looking so hunched over?" she wondered. Her doctor explained that, despite all her walking, her core muscles had weakened significantly, allowing her spine to gradually collapse forward. The turning point came when Barbara's doctor showed her simple core activation exercises she could do anywhere. Instead of adding more walking, she learned to stand against a wall with her shoulders and head touching the surface, gently press her lower back toward the wall, and hold the position while breathing normally. She practiced seated pelvic tilts while watching television and gentle abdominal bracing while standing in line at the grocery store. Within just 6 weeks, Barbara noticed remarkable changes. Her back pain diminished, her breathing felt easier, and friends commented that she looked taller and more confident. "I feel like I've reclaimed inches of height I thought were gone forever," she told me. What's particularly fascinating about core strength is how it affects your entire body. Your core muscles don't just support your spine. They create the stable platform that allows your lungs to fully expand, your digestive system to function efficiently, and even your heart to pump with less strain. Research shows that improved posture can increase lung capacity by as much as 30% in some seniors, which means more oxygen reaching every cell in your body. Want to check your current posture? Try this simple test. Stand with your back against a wall, with your heels, buttocks, shoulders, and head all touching the surface. Is this position comfortable, or does it feel unnatural? If maintaining contact between all these points and the wall is difficult, your posture has likely shifted away from optimal alignment. I'm curious, what changes have you noticed in your posture over the years? Do you find yourself slouching more? Or has someone commented that you're not standing as tall as you used to? Share your experiences in the comments below. Your insights might help others recognize similar changes in themselves. Now, let's move on to our 5th priority, something crucial that walking alone can actually make worse instead of better. 5. Joint protection. Why walking might be hurting, not helping. Here's something that might surprise you, and it's perhaps the most important insight of all. Walking, especially on hard surfaces like sidewalks and shopping malls, can actually accelerate joint wear and tear after 70. This isn't just my opinion. It's something rheumatologists and orthopedic specialists are increasingly concerned about. As we age, the cushioning cartilage in our knees, hips, and ankles naturally thins. Our bodies produce less synovial fluid, the natural lubricant that keeps joints moving smoothly, and the shock-absorbing structures that once protected our joints become less resilient. When these changes occur, the repetitive impact of thousands of steps on hard surfaces can gradually damage the very joints you're trying to keep healthy. The consequences of joint damage go far beyond occasional discomfort. For many seniors, joint pain becomes the primary reason they stop being active altogether. Once that happens, a difficult cycle begins. Less movement leads to more stiffness, which leads to even less movement. Independence slips away, not because of a sudden event, but because walking became too painful to continue. William from Chicago learned this lesson at 77. A former postal worker, he prided himself on walking 2 miles every morning, rain or shine. But gradually his knees began hurting, not just during his walks, but for hours afterward. "I thought I just needed to push through it," he told me. "My father always said, 'No pain, no gain.'" But William's doctor explained that the persistent pain wasn't building strength. It was a warning sign that his joints were being damaged with each step. The solution wasn't to stop moving, it was to change how he moved. William's doctor recommended low-impact alternatives that would strengthen the muscles around his joints without the constant pounding. He began swimming 3 times weekly at the local YMCA, using a stationary recumbent bike on other days, and practicing gentle chair-based movements that maintained mobility without stress. Within a month, William's knee pain had decreased dramatically. "I'm moving more than ever," he reported, "but without the constant aching that used to keep me up at night." What's more, the varied movements improved his overall mobility in ways that walking alone never did. The science behind this is fascinating. Different types of movement create varying pressure patterns that help distribute synovial fluid throughout the joint space, like working oil into a squeaky hinge. This improved lubrication reduces friction and provides essential nutrients to cartilage. Water exercises are particularly effective because they allow a full range of motion with minimal joint stress. The buoyancy of water removes about 90% of your body weight from your joints while still providing resistance for muscle strengthening. Here's a simple way to assess your current joint health. Pay attention to how your body feels 1 hour after walking. Do your knees, hips, or feet feel comfortable? Or do you experience aching, stiffness, or discomfort? Post-activity pain that lasts more than an hour is your body's way of saying, "This movement is causing stress, not health." One often overlooked benefit of improved joint health is its ability to reduce reliance on medication. Many seniors discover that with proper joint care, their need for pain relievers decreases significantly. Take William, for example. After just 3 months of joint-friendly exercises, he was able to completely eliminate his daily anti-inflammatory medications. However, before making any adjustments to your routine, it's essential to consult with your healthcare provider. Your specific joint conditions, overall health, and current medications all play a role in determining the safest and most effective approach for you. I'd love to hear about your experiences. Do you ever feel discomfort in your knees, hips, or feet after walking? How long does it typically last? Sharing your story could help others recognize similar patterns in themselves. Feel free to leave a comment below. Now that we've explored all 5 essential areas that walking alone does not fully address, let's bring everything together and discuss how to implement these changes in your daily life. We've covered the key types of movement your body needs after 70 that walking alone cannot provide: strength training to preserve muscle, balance exercises to prevent falls, flexibility work to maintain mobility, core exercises for better posture, and joint-friendly alternatives to protect your knees and hips. Aging does not have to mean decline. In fact, many seniors experience incredible improvements when they shift their focus to these 5 areas. Your body is still capable of adapting, strengthening, and thriving at any stage of life. I encourage you to reflect on which of these 5 areas needs your attention the most and begin there. Which priority stood out to you today? Will you start with strength, balance, flexibility, posture, or joint protection? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Next week, I'll be sharing a simple morning routine that incorporates all 5 areas in just 15 minutes. Until then, remember, it's never too late to move better, feel better, and live better.